Good evening and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. I'm JP, and joining me tonight, Big Alan and our good man, Mr. Barry Bannan. Baz, it's good to have you back on, mate. It's good to see you. Hope you're well.
Aye, good, mate. Obviously, as always, happy to be back on and looking forward to talking about Celtic again. And obviously, nice to see you every now and again as well. So, looking forward to the night. And speaking about a defeat rather than a win, that seemed to be the case a lot this season. So, be interesting to cover a few points for the weekend.
Yeah, and obviously it's my kind of first night back since I think it was about 10 days ago now. Alan, it's good to obviously see yourself, mate, and it's good to be back on Muse.
Aye, evening everyone. Hope you guys are well. Aye, quiet weekend. Obviously, the game was a tad disappointing, but no harm done. We obviously the result of the other side of the city, so it keeps it 13 points. And it's been great fun watching the fall of Dumbledore. No Dumbledore, Voldemort. Got the wrong Harry Potter character there. So aye, no, it's all good, and we're looking forward to tomorrow's game, obviously, and hopefully we can get back to winning ways. It'll be a difficult game against Aberdeen. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, obviously, Baz, Celtic came off the back of a very high intensity Tuesday night when we go to Bayern Munich and effectively down to the last kick of the ball, more or less, are taking one of the best sides in European football to extra time. And then who knows what can happen after that. We put a lot into the game. Do you think that takes its toll on some of the players, mate, and that's why we've seen part of the performance we did on Saturday?
It's hard to say because I think the team that played the other night was the team that more or less finished the game at Easter Road. So we obviously made 3 changes to the team that played in Bayern. But maybe a potential bit of rustiness, tiredness is the best thing to call it, maybe. I think Hibs, credit to them, I thought they got about us for the off. Pressed Celtic quite high up, where intensity was really good, I thought. And it kind of spooked Celtic a wee bit at the start of the game. They obviously get the early goal, which goals change games as well. But no, I think what you said, there was a bit of maybe jet lag, tiredness, whatever you want to call it, and they never got the traps as quick as we normally do and put a stamp in the game. But I think the majority of the game they were comfortable and had a lot of the ball. I noticed, I said to my dad as well about it, I just think Celtic at the minute are finding it really hard to defend cross balls into their box. I said it first leg at Celtic Park against Bayern, a lot of their chances came from crosses and third man runs, and that happened for the goal that they scored in Munich. The last minute was a cross into the box and a deep runner. And I think the boy that scored the 2 goals at the weekend for them is a midfielder making a late run into the box. So they've done their homework, and I think that's where we're lacking. I think we struggle to defend crosses. I've said it for a while now. I don't think we like the ball getting put in a box. But a much better second half, obviously, with the subs coming on, making an impact. I think Daizen Maeda going through the middle makes a big difference for this Celtic team at the minute. I know that means you get Jota on as well, but I just think Maeda becomes alive and he gets onto things that he shouldn't, like for the goal. Nobody else in the park scores that goal. It's just his willingness to run and always be on the move. I don't think Big Ida would have sniffed that goal out. So I think for going forward, I think he needs to play him through the middle. It's obvious now. I think that Daizen Maeda through the middle and Jota on the left, Celtic's best team at the minute. So Jeffrey Slot was great as well when he came on again. I thought I think he added to us, and you can see the difference in physicality and power down that side when he comes on. So I thought we were unlucky in the second half. Obviously, we'll probably speak about this later on here, but the goal as well that got disallowed, that could have gone our way also. So think second half we were good and probably deserved the minimum a draw. I think if you get the line, you're probably going and win it as well because there's enough time. But it wasn't to be. But like I said, we can look at the game in midweek and kind of say that's probably the reason why they've lost. But you can't really look at it and use them type of excuses because we've touched on it here before. We've got a big enough squad to change it and still should win these games. It just wasn't to be at the weekend.
Yeah, Alan, obviously, Baz touches on a few good points here, but we had a chat over the weekend watching the game as well, mate, and you could see right from early doors Celtic weren't at the intensity, they weren't showing their energetic levels, and you could see something was kind of missing. And Baz is spot on. I thought we got better in the second half, but in the first half, we went in 2-0 down. So when you do that, mate, you give yourself somewhat a mountain to climb, and it was, it was always going to have to be an uphill task to get back into the game as well. And obviously, we'll touch on some elements of the game as we go. But overall, mate, it just what they put into Tuesday night, I think for me personally, was a big teller going into Saturday. And as Baz says, when you've got Hibs who were fresh going into the game, they were really intense, they were really in their faces. They never really gave Celtic room to breathe. So all credit and all to Hibs, not just the fact that we can't just say we didn't play well, that's the only reason Hibs won. They also did very well in the game as well.
Oh, credit to Hibs. They've done their homework and they've made us pay in the first half. But I don't, as Barry says, it was the three players that weren't in the starting lineup against Bayern. They were the ones that get hooked off at half time. I think that just solidifies that team that started against Bayern and the team that started the second half against Hibs. That is by far now their best starting 11. I think you look at I know some of the players were tired, but the players that didn't start against Bayern were the ones that underperformed massively. We don't want to dig too much in it because we've had a fantastic season, right? These players have kind of played brilliantly, kind of game in, game out. Some of the performances and the levels we've reached, it's been great. But like Ida, Taylor, you're wanting a lot more than what we're seeing just now. You see, Ida says that he wanted to commit, when Kyogo left, he wanted to be the main man. Well, he's not stepping up to that mark just now. I'm sorry to say that. In my opinion, he's not stepping up to that mark. He's not stepping up to that mark far enough because even Daizen Maeda, who that isn't his natural position, as Brendan says, he's coming in and he's took his unnatural position off him. So, yeah, I think it just solidifies and shows the opinion that first 11 starting lineup against Bayern Munich, that is our strongest 11, and any games going forward that are massively important, say tomorrow against Aberdeen or the Rangers games or any Scottish Cup games, I think you need to go with that strongest 11 because it's starting to show that that's an extremely high level. And some of the squad players, they are good players, but they're maybe not stepping up to that higher standard for me. So I think that's just kind of proved that at the weekend there.
Yeah, obviously, Baz, as Alan touches on in terms of Adam Maeda, there's been lots said this season about Adam Maeda, and he's this, he's that, and there's been good points about Adam Maeda as well flung into the mix. But I know Brendan says he didn't want to play Daizen in the centre forward position, but Daizen Maeda, before he signed for Celtic as a centre forward, he played for Yokohama as a centre forward, and he actually plays for Japan through the middle. I don't think personally it's a surprise that we're seeing Daizen Maeda, because he's kind of took that mantle from Kyogo and said to himself and said to the Celtic fans, and for certain circumstances, that I'm going to take this and I want to play through the middle and I'm going to show you I can be the man to score goals. And he's been able to do that very well for us.
No, I've said since we lost Kyogo, we've only seen Daizen Maeda through the middle a few times when Kyogo was here, but he's always scored goals through the middle for Celtic as well. And as you said, if you do your actual digging and look at his history and his career before he came here, he was actually a striker and has played through the middle for his national team before Kyogo as well. So, like you said, it's no surprise that we're getting the output that we're getting from him through the middle. It would be interesting if you would ask him where he prefers playing to see where he actually does prefer playing, because I think he would stay through the middle. Because as I've touched on here before, I think his technical ability has got a lot better this season, but I think you rely on it less more through the middle than you do out wide.
Mhm.
You need to put crosses in. You sometimes need to dribble past people, whereas through the middle, you're more on instinct and running in behind, and you're finishing for closer distances, which doesn't require as much as his technical ability as he needs when he's cutting in from out wide and trying to finish. So I think through the middle is his position, and I know we've probably stumbled across it because we've lost Kyogo, but in hindsight, we probably haven't, because if you look back, like we said, he's been playing up front most of his career. So I feel sorry for Adam Maeda, because he's probably been bought thinking that he's going to come and play as the number 9, and then Kyogo's there, and then Kyogo leaves. He probably thinks again, now this is my chance. But football is football, and we know it's cutthroat business. If you don't take your chances, then somebody else will come along and take them. And I think that's what's happening at the minute. He done really well at the start when Kyogo left. He scored 2 at Villa Park. I was there that night. I thought he was good. He done well a few games after it, and he's obviously on a good bit of form, i.e. scoring goals. But you need to do it every week in a Celtic jersey, and I think at the weekend the ball gets played over the tap when he looks clean through and he misses the touch, it goes through to the goalie, and then there's a time where if he just gets his head up and squares it, Kuhn's got a tap in at the back post. They're the little moments that Celtic fans will be wanting to see.
Do you think it's a lot more visible that, see, when Adam Maeda doesn't score, it's a lot more visible to the fans because he doesn't maybe contribute as much as Maeda or Kyogo after the ball? So when he's no scoring, you're not seeing him doing much at all. But so if he doesn't score, he doesn't kind of give the same amount of contribution to the team as what a Kyogo or a Maeda would do with the amount of running that he's making.
I think you're spot on. I think obviously even with Kyogo at certain points this season where he doesn't touch the ball and doesn't score, he's been in for criticism this season a lot, Kyogo. But more than no, he scores, so he gets away with it. I think with Daizen Maeda, it doesn't matter what he does in the game, he's always going to get supported because of the way he plays. You know what he's going to give you after the ball. And I think with Adam Maeda, he just comes across that he's not actually working hard. But I watched him at Villa Park, and I think he probably works harder than he should, because I think he does a lot of running that is probably because he's not in the right position for the press at the time, and he'll probably have to run off the back of that. But no, I just think at the weekend there, a lot of fans as well obviously want Maeda through the middle, so there's pressure on him already to do well in that game, because the fans want Jota and they want Maeda and they want Kuhn as the front three. So the big man's under pressure right away, and I just think any little mistake or he misses a chance or he doesn't play a pass that he should, then fans will pick up on it because it's not what they want to see, because they want somebody else playing in that position, which is, it could be looked at as unfair, but you're playing for a massive club, and that's what happens when you're playing for a club these sizes. It's the same as Greg Taylor. He's had an unbelievable season probably in Scotland, but you get somebody like Jess Sluck coming along and doing well in these games, and now everybody wants Sluck to play, and any error that Greg Taylor makes now is getting scrutinised double, and that's the pressure of playing for Celtic. So like you said, I think you're spot on though, Alan. I think going forward it is clear to see what the best starting 11 is, and I think, like you said, when it comes to the crunch time and you need to win games, then I think the majority of fans would agree in the starting 11 that played in Bayern makes the best 11 going forward.
Yeah, I just want to say a massive good evening to everybody that's joining us across the platforms. Cheers for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying the show. As you all know, it's Monday night. That means it's a dial-in, and it's time now for our first call-in. And it is our man, Mr. Francis Lester. Good evening, Francis. How you doing, mate?
Evening, Jack P. Evening, Alan and young Barry.
Evening, Francis.
How you doing, mate?
How you doing?
No bad. as you know, I had a wee kind of health scare last week, so
Yeah, man.
been a bit rough for the weekend, but I'm starting feeling a bit better today. It's what happens when you get old.
We shot looked like you and Ruff in a health scare last week.
Uh-huh.
I wish I looked like you after a health scare.
All right.
The old ticker's been playing up again, but I've already had 2 heart attacks and I got out of them, so I'm doing all right.
Some man.
Well, unfortunately, this isn't a 999 helpline, mate. So
I know.
let's
Watching Celtic on Saturday, I nearly had a third one.
What's your thoughts on that, Francis, in terms of the game yourself? Because obviously you did send me a text message when the game had finished, but as things have now kind of got on a wee bit and we're nearly back to another game, how are you feeling now?
No, I was still really disappointed with the performance in the first 45 minutes. And I know you brought back the point to me about maybe the European hangover, but I didn't see it that way, because even after in the second half, the team that played, as probably Alan pointed out earlier on, came on in the second half and played superbly, and I thought we definitely deserved at least a draw at the match. The first half, I thought our decision making was terrible as well. And one big thing about Ida, I pointed out that time he went through and he broke into the penalty box, and it looked to me as if he lifted his head, but Kuhn was standing square, ready for a tap in, and he just dwelt on the ball and then lost it. And I thought, what's he doing? And they kind of decisions that we were making in the first half, I just thought it was a really poor performance. Our passing was off. Taylor and Big Trusty in the first 5-10 minutes seemed to be all over the place. I mean, the first goal, Trusty's halfway up the park, so's Taylor behind him. A wee ball over the top, and then we're 1-0 down. I just thought it was the decision making of the boys that came in, that played in the first half, was really poor. But second half, I thought we came right into it, and we done really well. And we controlled the whole game in the second half, and I thought we deserved at least a draw out of it.
Yeah, Alan, obviously Francis's point there regarding Celtic's decision making. How do you feel on that?
Yeah, you could say that about kind of a number of things in the first half. Obviously, the goal we've conceded for that Francis mentioned. You're looking at how far up the park that Trusty and Taylor are. It doesn't look good whatsoever. I think Johnston and Carter Vickers are left to deal with that side of the park as well as their own. So, yeah, it wasn't ideal. When he digs through as well, you're expecting it's a pass through and it should be a tap in. So it wasn't by far the best decision making. Sometimes we get that kind of in a number of games, but the difference is being in those other games we get a lot more chances and we're more kind of in front in the game, shall we say. We've got kind of more of control in the game, which we didn't have because Hibs took their chances when they got them. So yeah, we should be more clinical. We should be making better decisions. It is disappointing. It is kind of infuriating at times and frustrating watching that. But I'm trying to be as positive as I possibly can because you see the outlook we've got. We're looking kind of hot favourites for the remaining trophy in the Scottish Cup. We're 13 points ahead in the league. So, yeah, the first half was definitely negative. I thought we massively underperformed because of the 3 changes we made. I think these guys need to kind of step up to the level that was shown against Bayern Munich. It's a hard level to step up to because of how well we played.
Yeah.
But it's not the end of the world. We're still 13 points clear. I still want to be kind of put a positive shine on it as well.
Yeah. Barry, obviously Francis's main point there about the players being out of position, mate. It's not very often you do see that. Is that what you call when you try and press, you just get it wrong? And obviously Hibs play one pass and then before you know it, they're through and in.
I think we've obviously Austin Trusty's stepped right in and he goes probably beyond Greg Taylor. But then that's maybe for Greg Taylor or Cal to probably see that there's a space there and it needs to be filled in with either Greg or maybe Carter Vickers coming across a bit more and Alistair Johnson coming in and leaving the furthest side away. But I think it's down to Greg Taylor and Cal McGregor, to be honest, to fill that space when the big man goes pressing, because Trusty's obviously done the right thing, but just no won the ball back.
Yeah.
And when you do that and you're that brave to go and press like that, you do leave space, but you're hoping that as a team, one of your mates will fill in for you, and it never happens. So there was probably a lack of people speaking on the pitch there at that time, or maybe there was an expectancy for Trusty to go and deal with the man and win the ball and commit with it. But no, I think like if you're going to press the way Celtic pressed, things like that will happen. And sometimes you just got to hold your hands up and say it was you can't get it right all the time. Do you know what I mean? And they've capitalised on it, which is fairness to them. But it was a bit easy how the guy got in the space. It should have been dealt with a wee bit better. Somebody should have been filling in for the big man when he stepped in. So it's hard to point the finger at McGregor or Taylor, but when the big guy goes away and starts pressing in front of everybody, then you should realise and somebody should be sitting in for him.
And that vision or that anticipation, they kind of that player's going to peel off the Hibs player. But obviously, you're saying that Taylor or Callum McGregor should have seen that Trusty's moving up the park, so they should then come in to remedy that basically. So it's no. That's in a perfect world, but I'm sure Brendan's probably looking at that as well and saying, right, guys, and the next time that happens, we need to be better at that, because it did look pretty poor defending, to be honest. It was that much of a gap, and a Hibs player just kind of floating about, stalling there, and he's got all the time in the world just to kind of pick his finish.
Francis, what did you enjoy about the second half? You were saying there, obviously, Celtic controlled the second half. What did you most enjoy about watching the second half?
Jota. I just thought Jota all the difference in the world when he came on, because he took the ball and he keeps it. And apart from one, he made a bad decision when he broke away. He cut inside and he shot when he should have squared it. That was the only bad decision I would say he made during that, because that would have been an equaliser as well. I think we should have scored through that move. I thought he went a wee bit glory hunting there, but I just love Jota. I just think every time he takes the ball, he's no fear. But it doesn't matter how many players are around him, he'll take them on and he'll go to beat them. And it doesn't beat them every time, but I just love the way he takes the player on and he just goes down that wing and he just takes players on and he takes that risk. You know what I mean? And some of the balls he was chipping into the middle of the park, I'm screaming out for somebody, get on the end of it, get on the end of it, That's what I really enjoyed most about the second half. And sorry, just to pick up quickly on a point Barry made before I come on about high balls into your box, Barry. I find that I've been watching Trusty a lot, and for me, some of the reasons he doesn't jump because he spends too much time handling players. His hands are around players all the time. He's grabbing onto players. I'm like, keep your hands down. You can't jump if you're holding onto a player. Do you know what I mean? And for me, he manhandles defenders every time there's a ball coming into your box. He's trying to get his arms around players, and for me, he's going to eventually get penalised against it and get away a penalty kick. But I think that's another reason he doesn't get onto all the high balls that comes into the box, because he's too busy trying to wrestle with the attacking player. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
No, I think you're right. I think when you start fighting with the one player, like I said, it's not really the strikers that are getting on. It's the people running for deep. So you're right with Trusty. If he's fighting with the one man, he can't then react to a late runner that comes in for maybe running off McGregor, or where you want Trusty and Carter Vickers to defend the middle of the goal. A lot of the headers are from the middle of the goal, in between the goals. So he's probably, like you said, he's probably thinking, I've done my job here by grabbing my man, and he's no scoring. So that, but you've got to be reactive, because there might be runners that are coming off, and you've got to then go and deal with that. But if you're fighting with the one striker, then you're never going to do that. So I just think when cross balls come into the box at the minute, we look at 6s and 7s, and it's in hope really, or it's we're swinging a leg, or he's making a good save, the goalie. It's just I'm a nervous wreck when people cross the ball into the box for Celtic, and I think Hibs seen the goal the other night and seen the chances Bayern were having, because Goretzka had another one that he should have scored before he actually scored the other night as well. So they've obviously, teams do their homework, and I think we'll start to see towards the end of the season a lot of cross balls and a lot of running midfielders try to get in and on the end of it. So it'll be something that will need to be dealt with, and it'll be interesting to keep an eye on it to see if we improve in that side of it.
Francis, what are you most looking forward to tomorrow night?
I just hope to get back to winning ways and get a good victory. I mean, I watched the Aberdeen game on Saturday. I didn't watch the game, but I seen their game back, the highlights of their game, and I still think they're struggling pretty much, you know. So I feel we should be getting out there and having another wee statement winning tomorrow night. I feel we could get a few goals tomorrow night, especially after losing on Saturday. I'm feeling a wee maybe 3-4-0 tomorrow. I really do, you know. I'm hoping for it.
Right.
I think Aberdeen are still in a. I don't know what's happened to them. They've just fell away so badly. Even the new players they brought in, I don't think it's made much of a difference. I know they've won the last 2 games, but last minute goal and the other game as well. You know, I think we should be getting out there and looking to, you know, put a few goals past them.
Yeah, totally. You going to the game yourself, Francis?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah. No, smashing, mate. You made some good points tonight, and obviously we're going to move you on because the calls are coming in tonight. So,
That's it. Hey,
thanks
Jake.
very much for
Take care, Francis.
coming on, mate.
That's mate. Cheers.
Cheers,
Bill.
mate.
Have a good
All
one,
the
mate.
best. Take care, mate. Okay, bye-bye. Cheers to Francis for coming on and giving us his thoughts, as always. Hope he gets better soon as well, lads, because health scares are not the best, are they?
Oh, indeed. I hope he's feeling better and all the best for him.
He looks
100%.
brilliant for his age, and
I look smashing, I know.
he looks unreal. I was surprised that he said that, but just shows you never know, do you, what people are going through. So
No.
best, and hopefully gets back
Aye.
to full health.
Nivea for men's really, really good. I think I'm maybe need to get myself some. He'll probably not enjoy me saying that right enough, Francis. But
you could be drinking bleach and look like Ryan.
I suppose. Well, by the way, there's a thought. That's food for thought. That one. I'm wondering. I think Ryan's been all right recently, hasn't he? Because obviously his big mate's not been getting on. So big scale.
I'm starting to think he doesn't like me now, because every time I'm on now, he's never on.
Aye, he's he does that good thing where he's hiding. The kid's on. He's like, I'm on a day job, boys. Do you know what I mean? He's hiding. But
If he's kidnapped Barry, that's how there's only one of them on at a time. You know what I mean? Maybe that could be that.
He's behind the curtain, you know.
I'm getting some. There he is. His laughy faces there. I'm getting some interesting comments here. One guy reckons I need polyfiller instead of Nivea for men, and another guy thinks I need more than Nivea for men. So there we go. It's amazing the
Beautiful
what you put out. Honestly, I'm feeling the love, lads. I'm telling you. It's time now for our next caller, and it is indeed my dad. How are we doing? What? You're on mute. You need to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Good evening, lads.
Good evening, John.
Good evening, Barry. Good evening, Alan. JP.
How you doing? All right?
How are we all doing? All right?
Yeah.
I'm David Dozy.
Yeah, we're all right.
Yourself?
I'm coming to you live for the Debt Dome.
Debt Dome. Murder.
I was there to see wee Barry taking over him and Three Stooges.
Yeah, we actually...
Don't call me a
cheerleader. We actually got some...
No, he's not.
Call me a cheerleader, Terry.
We actually did, folks, manage to get some live footage at the time. We got an interesting picture of Barry driving in earlier. There he is there. He was driving into the training centre earlier on. So, he's certainly looks up for it, lads, eh?
Definitely.
Wonder what's going to happen now, because he's. I wonder if his Go Radio contract's been ripped up now.
That'll be extinct now.
What about the Neil McCarran that as well? Because he's he does loads up there for football, doesn't he? Scottish football. So
Yeah, he
They'll
does
have-
like he does sports scene, doesn't he? He does I think he does Sky as
BBC.
well, doesn't he?
BBC.
Yeah, BBC. Yeah.
will they have to knock that in
Probably
the
have
heat?
clauses in their contracts if they get that kind of
Billy
job
Dodge is the
offer,
same
then.
because Billy Dodge is on BBC Sports Sound. He's on other things as well with like Michael Stewart and stuff like that. So I would imagine they
Alan
will have to.
Alan McGregor's on Ballamore.
Yeah,
Aye.
he's on Ballamore. That's right. He's a window cleaner, isn't he? That's right.
He's a postman.
He's a main man. His nick. Do you know his nickname's Dracula?
Oh, really?
Because he doesn't come for crosses.
You've got a stake in that claim.
Big Griggsy doesn't come for crosses. Mad Dracula, brilliant. The dream team, man. What a setup,
Oh, the
honestly.
dream team. You couldn't write it.
No, you couldn't.
No.
You couldn't.
It's a fan pleaser, as I said earlier. That's what it is. Get
No,
the
100%. I'd imagine that. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'd imagine that's because, Barry, what's your thoughts here? Because obviously, as Alan's just said there about season tickets, so therefore, you know, that's going to be coming up for renewal soon. And
but the 49ers will be coming in.
Aye, that's right. But they're called the 2012ers, aren't they?
I didn't want to say that.
It's a I don't know what to really like. I spoke to one of my mates today about it, and he was like, similar to Neil Lennon, and I was like, is it though? Because he won things straight away with Celtic, and Barry Ferguson's obviously he's had a chance at doing in the lower leagues, and it's no worked out. So like obviously the league's done. I've said it ages ago, so it doesn't really matter who they bring in now. So it could be just bring somebody in that knows the club, keeps the fans happy to the end of the season. So I can see why they're doing it, but it's obviously a short-term fix for the minute, just to keep fans happy, and then they'll be back at square one again in the summer. And you see, when it comes to the summer, you need to stay. Celtic get that far ahead. You could probably do with somebody coming in the new and having a good look at them and seeing what he needs out and what he needs in the summer. But you're going to have to start afresh again in the summer, and it doesn't look great, to be honest, because you're playing catch up again to a team that's already pulling away, and no doubt will spend again in the summer, Celtic, and pull away even more. So
we're already saying that we've got one playoff round. The other teams they've got 3 rounds. We're already saying we want to be prepared early for that playoff round. They need to be prepared kind of a month or 5 weeks before us. So that's no ideal. But as I say, it's not just concentrating us. As long as we're kind of taking over.
Apparently, the next home game they're going to scrap. Barry Ferguson's already said this. They're going to scrap the Simply the Best, so they're not playing that. Apparently, what's happening is they're opening up the gates and they're letting Bob Malcolm drive in his ice cream van playing the sash. to get the place buzzing. So, aye, we need to wait and see how that works out.
Just one cornetto.
Aye. So, John, obviously you came on tonight right away into the hard stuff. So let's get on to the hoops now. What was your overriding thoughts regarding Saturday, mate?
I'm like everybody else. I mean, okay, we had a bad first half, and I could see that happening with the changes on the team. I kind of knew that wasn't going to go down too well. Mm-hmm. And then, you discover he didn't look close to me. It just looked as though he didn't want to be there. And Taylor again caught upfield for the first goal. Reported missing. Can't have that. That's just oh no. And I felt sorry for wee Luke McCown, because for me he couldn't get into the game much. You know what I mean? And he had a couple of good passes in the first half, and I thought he might have grew into the game. But when we ended up, losing the goals we lost, you're like that to yourself. So Brendan's going to just weak these guys off and change it. And when he changed it, it just completely changed the whole complex of the game. And we got back in. Unlucky not to get a draw at the game in the end. I've watched that one. He did Maeda's second goal. For me, I don't think the whole ball was out of line, to be honest. And we can argue about that forever. But Jota going through and having a shot at goal, I don't blame Jota for having a shot at goal because he'd done all the hard work himself. And there was defenders getting back when Kuhn was there. But maybe if he hits it a wee bit earlier, Kuhn gets the shot off and it's 2 each. You know what I mean? But it's one of the games we were just unlucky in, and these things happen through the season. And I wasn't too disappointed in the result in the end up. Maybe because it was another team that playing green and white to beat us. So, and then here that mob getting beat on the debt dome. That was that put the icing on the cap for me. That I was ever so glad that happened.
Yeah, Baz, obviously it's doing the same there with the second goal. It's created a big, hoo-ha now after the game. Brendan's obviously unhappy about it because he says that, the linesman and the ref give the goal, and then it's the VAR officials, Alan Muir and the other boys that are in the control centre. They radio down to the ref goes to the monitor, and all of a sudden the goal is chopped off. Now, for me, the nearest camera takes the 18-yard line. But nobody has seen Baz, the factual ASO, what they were looking at. So unless it's factual, mate, I'm kind of in the unknown and bewildered at how they then go against the referee and the linesman and chop the goal off.
No, I don't think they actually know, the people in VAR, if it was all or if it wasn't, because they've seen an angle where you can definitely say it's out. So you're like Brendan said, you're guessing kind of on the, and if the referee's decision was for the goal to stand, then it should still stay like that unless actual evidence that says the ball's out, and we've not seen that evidence. So you're guessing, and I think the people in VAR, I know you're saying the actual, I know what you're on about the VAR down here where you can see the lines and it tells you exactly where it's at. I don't think they've got that in Scotland, so I think VAR are seeing exactly what we're seeing for the game on Saturday. And there's an angle where it maybe look at, and then there's another angle where you think it's still in. So it's mental that you can overrule the ref and say it's out when you realistically you don't watch it. So there's no evidence there for it to say it's definitely out. So you've got to stand with the decision that's on the park. So like your dad said, that we could sit here all night and argue about it. It's pointless. It's done now. We're not going to get the points.
Yeah,
we've had probably decisions go our way. It's annoying, and I do get it. Maybe if it was a bit more closer in the title race, then we would be raging about it more. But it is what it is. Just it's happened now, and it doesn't surprise me if I'm being honest as well. So we just get on with it.
Yeah, Alan, obviously, how do you see that incident overall, mate, and your thoughts?
We can't definitively say whether it was in or out. We've not got the technology to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, personally, see, when I watched it and I've seen the video evidence, which is the evidence, when I've seen the videos, I thought it was out. But somebody else, like yourself, you might say it's in, but that's opinions. We have not got the technology here to factually say that is definitively in or definitively out. So for me, the mistake has been made. Well, the decision's been made on the park. So if they've not got definitive evidence in VAR that they can say, look, you've definitely made a mistake here, then
Yeah,
how can the decision be changed? I think personally it was out. But if that decision was made on the park, how can it be changed when you haven't got the technology to say that was definitely out? Unless they come out with a different angle or a different picture, I can't see how it's possible to make that decision to overturn that. As I say, I think it was, personally, I thought it was out, so I'm not complaining about it too much.
It can
But
look out though, but you
can't-
see in England when you think balls are out, because you see the angle where he's kicking it in, and it looks as if all it takes is a little bit of that ball just to
And
be over.
mind the Japan one, was it the World Cup, wasn't it?
It
Looked a mile out, and then
and
they
it was.
showed you it was like a wee slither that was on the
Mhm.
line.
So that's how you can't go against it and say it's out,
Mhm.
because even though with your eye it might look out, but you actually need the technology that you have at the World Cups and stuff to actually say it's out, because like I said, there's instances where balls have looked out before, and all it takes is for a wee bit of the ball to be overhanging the line and it's still in play, it's deemed as in play. So I don't think you can call it, you can't rule it out anyway. You've got to, if he does it during the game, the ref, then fair enough, but you can't give the goal and then go to VAR and no see enough evidence and then rule it out. It's meant.
It's the other way about
Yeah.
as well. Right, see if it was called that it was out on like in real time in the park, then if they've not got the technology, we can't go to VR and say that was in,
Mhm.
because you've not got the technology to definitively say it's in or out. So I don't see the point in going to VR with
Yeah.
that if you've not got the technology to do so.
Yeah, it's a very bizarre decision and a decision making from Alan Muir and his colleagues, because like we've all saw that the officials on the field make the decision and they agree it's a goal, and then it's VAR to intervene and chop it off. But I'm kind of unsure. I'm not that angry about it the way Brendan was. I mean, Brendan sees that as denying his side a point anyway out the game, and a game we were 2-0 down in. So I can understand his he feels aggrieved by that. But touching on tomorrow, John, in terms of tomorrow night, how you seen Celtic going about that one?
Well, it's a home game, and I think after the result on Saturday and the result again in Germany, I think Celtic will spring back into action tomorrow. I know Aberdeen have sort of come onto a game recently and not been great this season over the last 12, 13 games. Still a tough team to play, but I think there'll be a lot of hunger there tomorrow night with the Celtic players. And I could see Celtic winning about 3 or 4-0.
Yeah, Alan, obviously, I've spoke to a number of people from Saturday to now, including yourselves, boys, and I think most of us are probably all agreed at one point or another. They feel that Celtic will just bounce straight back, because that's what this Celtic team seem to do. They learn a lesson from it and then they set about. And I've spoke to another couple of guys today, and they've all said to me that they think Celtic will now go unbeaten the rest of the season.
It's a big possibility.
That's a possibility. There's no doubt about it. When Celtic are at the top of their game and we play our kind of best 11 that we've got, I don't think there's any team in our league domestically that can handle that if we're up at our very maximum. So yeah, it's a distinct possibility that we could go kind of the whole season winning every game. You could see that happening, but it's football. Sometimes kind of that doesn't happen, as you seen at the weekend. A couple of changes and it kind of maybe takes the intensity and the tempo off the game, or just kind of it's just we're not at our absolute best. So yeah, I'm expecting us to go full force tomorrow, and I think we should put in a decent performance. And being at home, Aberdeen have played decent when you take the kind of the whole season as an average, but I think we'll put in a decent performance tomorrow, and I think we will win with at least a couple.
Yeah. And John, obviously, just lastly, before we let you go, mate, are you going to the game yourself?
Yes, I am. And looking forward to it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best things about being a Celtic fan. There's always the next game to look forward to, and the games are, of recent they've been coming thick and fast for us. So if we do drop points in one, we don't get too bogged down because we need to go again quickly afterwards. And I think is it 6 or 7 more wins we need to wrap up the title, Alan?
Six,
Six.
but that's including a win against Rangers, which would be a 6-pointer, basically. Aye. So
that's going to happen.
Aye. So if we draw with them, it'd be 7. Aye. So
Yeah.
it should be we could win it by the game before the split.
Right, okay. Well, that's a target for us, isn't it, moving forward? But John, thanks very much for your time tonight.
Nice
And,
to speak to you, lads.
Cheers,
to you, Barry.
John, nice to speak to you, John.
Cheers.
Take care, lads.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Cheers to my dad for tuning in. I think this VAR, lads, Baz, yourself, is, it's creating mega moments like we saw at the weekend. I mean, as Alan says, you need to be really sure that ball is out to make that call, because the nearest camera to that's 18-yard line. So it's going to be interesting, because obviously, as we know now, Celtic have put an inquest in to understand what it says to one another, and then obviously the video, to see visually what it was they saw. Because as Alan says, you can't look at that and say definitively that's out or that's in from the angle.
It's quite funny when he says we're not making any statements or anything.
Aye, that was good. I know. Aye, we don't. He says we don't make statements. Aye, we just speak quietly about it in the background. But I think they can't keep putting it down by to a training exercise, or they need to do better here, they need to do better there, because once a month Wally Collins coming out with Gordon Duncan and he's doing that show, and more times than not he's repeating himself a lot by saying the word sorry, and we're sorry about this, and we're trying to do this, and we're teaching the refs this, but it's the same mistakes they keep making.
No, I think I don't get how they've not got a camera on the goal line. I just don't get it. Obviously, a lot of goals are scored from cutbacks and people getting to the byline, so you would think that would be one of the main places where they would have a camera. It's actually a wee bit crazy that you can't find a camera angle to justify that ball being over the line or it being at this, but you can still then call a goal after. I mean, it shouldn't be happening. Because if you're going to have VAR like the Premier League, you should have the exact same stuff as the Premier League. Otherwise, what's the point in having it?
It costs money for the smaller teams. That's how they'll not get it for Scotland. We've not even got goal line technology. We've not get that. That costs more money. So do you remember? Was it last year, the year before, the Jota goal at Fir Park, and they says it was offside, and it was a camera for the opposite half.
The boy was stunning it. The boy was stunning outside the mega bar, wasn't he, when he took the video footage, man? It was mental.
So it's underfunded. The clubs will not pay for it, the smaller clubs. So,
but this is what I mean. Like, what's the point in having any of it then? Do you know what I mean? You either have the full shebang, you don't have it at all, and just get on with it.
It's the same way down the road, Baz. Obviously, in the Premier League, they're talking about now just getting into that semi-automated thing that they're using in the kind of Champions League. I says to my dad earlier, like the day, it'll be 5 years before we get that here. I'll be like, we're always way behind the times up here, But the VAR alone as well, we were miles behind everybody else as well. But it's a strange one. But it's time now for our third and final caller of the evening. It is indeed the man of the moment and our sponsor, Mr. Alec Beveridge. Good evening, mate. How are you doing?
I'm good, mate. Yourself?
I'm all right. Aye, it's good to see you, mate.
How you all?
Good. Did you finish that cup of tears you were drinking?
They're in the
Last week,
fridge,
wasn't
mate.
it?
There's a lot there in the
I
fridge.
need to refill that now, aye.
Yes, it's not finished. It's just one of the everlasting pints that just keep going. It's every week you get into the fridge and then it's full again. It's absolutely unbelievable.
Brilliant, man.
Do you know what? They make us feel so good that we get beaten Saturday and we still feel as if we've won.
Oh, we're a goal up now. We're goal difference is one there.
And you're a goal up, you've got a better goal difference for getting beat. It's uncanny for them, mate. And the decision that they've made today is just unbelievable. It's it's just nuts.
What's your thoughts overall on it, Bev? What's your thinking about, obviously, you know, the logic behind sacking a guy who won the league in Belgium, and as Brendan, I thought it was a touch of class for Brendan earlier as well, where he talks about, you know, before he obviously came here, the guy won things and he came to Rangers as a winner in previous positions he's had. And then all of a sudden it's no went right from here for many circumstances. One being probably the way that club is run from top to bottom. And then the hand he's been dealt in terms of transfers and players, that, you know, but, you know, has he been backed? Has he not been backed? Is it guys that's bringing in the wrong players for him? Who knows? But then obviously to bring in a guy who he was sacked at Clyde, you know, and you've sacked a guy who he's got quite a lot of experience in management, and you've brought in a pundit for Go Radio. It just, I mean, to me, it's the most bizarre thing I've ever heard.
See everything you just says there, mate. It's bizarre. That's it in a nutshell. It's absolutely bizarre that you can get a guy that managed Celtic Hearts to then come in and try to galvanise a team that are just, we've spoke about it, that are just serial losers. There's not one person in that team that can drag you up with the scruff of the arse and try and
that's
get you
the plan with the brought him in for, Bev. I think your man Clement, he'd lost it, man. His mental health was kind of going way downhill. He's cutting shapes in Wonderbar, you know what I mean? So I think he needed eliminated, and they've brought in somebody at the end of the season. Then they'll deal with it, I think. But it's good for us to laugh at, you know what I mean? But I think that's what they're doing.
It keeps us happy. But Clement didn't do sell any favours coming across in the media, the way he spoke about things, the way he was talking about. He kept talking
that time
about
he was dancing. He was dancing with somebody in between us about John Suter, mind. He was doing all
that.
that.
Everybody up with Beautiful Sunday.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? Come on. I think he was half scooshed after that, to be fair. You can't get up at a press conference actively sober after getting beat or whatever happened that game and start jumping about like that, and you've known a couple of vinos. It's not right. But he didn't put his sell across well in the media. He kept coming out with all these statements. He kept saying rebuild. How many times can you rebuild? But they're going to have to do that again. But I don't know. As I said to you earlier, I'm not interested. But my phone was pinging all day with you three, going on about everything and all that, and it was hilarious. Some of the stuff. But see, at the end of the day, it's laughable. But we've just got to worry about ourselves and pick up for Saturday. So that's what it's all about. They had a chance to maybe try and make something of it, and then we get beat, but they go and take it a step better and get beat at home and then get their manager sacked. You know, so it's, I don't know. It was a crazy weekend. And as Ange put up, I seen earlier, Celtic and Rangers on the same day getting beat in 7 years.
Aye, you know, first time in 7 years.
Absolutely nuts. But
it's obviously been on the Celtic side, hearing this news and stuff. Do you think the boys will be having a laugh about that now and behind the scenes, and then still remaining focused on the games in hand to play? Because in a circumstance like that, would it be very easy to get sidetracked and get caught up in all the media hype with what's going on, and Celtic could maybe go, do you know what? They haven't got much to play for. They've not really got anything domestically left to play for. So we can start maybe I don't want to say take my foot off the gas, but start maybe putting an eye on, you know, the summer coming and what's going to be happening in the summer, etc.? Or do you think the concentration's always going to be there to remain focused?
No, they'll obviously see it and they'll see who they've appointed today and they'll have a laugh and joke about it probably. But it won't change their concentration for the season. They know they want to go out there and do their best week in, week out. There's still a lot of things to be played for this season. Still got another cup to try and get the domestic treble. Still got 2 games against Rangers as well left. So, the concentration will always be there. They'll obviously speak about Clement leaving the day and stuff, but that'll be at the window tomorrow when they've got to go to town and go play against Aberdeen. So, but we're human as footballers. You see what's going on, and you obviously talk about it in your changing rooms and that. But it doesn't take away the concentration for the part when you go there and you're ready to kick off. It's business as usual. But 100% they'll be talking about it. We're all talking about it, and they're the same as us, so they will be.
Alan, are you surprised at how long, or are you surprised at the way the announcement happened just last night? Are you surprised at how long he's managed to last after the Queen's Park result on its own? Because any other manager, in my opinion, mate, would have been right out the exit after that result. So, me personally, I'm very surprised that he lasted another 2 games.
You can look at it like that. Obviously, with Celtic supporters, but at the end of the day, he's been told he's been backed by the hierarchy, and I don't like to remember this certain year, but when you look at the kind of COVID year with Neil Lennon, I think there's probably a good couple of months before he was actually shown the door. I think that probably should have happened as well. So I'm getting flashbacks with kind of Neil Lennon and COVID season with regards to what's happened with him, because it's probably a decision that should have been made previous to that, just like it was with Neil Lennon. So it just so happens that this time around we're on top of it. We are kind of gone well and everything's pretty rosy at the minute. So yeah, it seems to be good to be a Celtic fan at the minute, as it has been for the majority of the last decade or so.
Yeah, 100%. And Bev, obviously your thoughts for the weekend, mate. How did you see the game unfold? What was your take on it?
Well, obviously we didn't play well the first half, but overall, mate, it's when Brendan Rodgers spoke after the Bayern game, he spoke about, you know, he'll be looking at bringing in more players, more quality, because you looked at what Bayern had on the bench, what they were bringing on, to who, you know, we were subsequently going to bring on. So it made abundantly clear on Saturday who's not going to be there soon. You know, I think in the summer there'll be a haul out and a few in. We spoke about a couple of weeks ago in here that, you know, we're no far away from paying like 13, 15 million pounds for a player now, because we need to attract that calibre to have that on the bench, you know what I mean? But we said that these players that you're bringing in, are they going to be, you know, that way that, you know, that you might find time on the bench because you've got like 14, 15 top-class players that are going to try and squeeze into an 11. And that's what you need. And you need that fight. And I just think on Saturday, there was clear as day that there's about 3 or 4 that I don't think will be there come August. You know, they might start the season, but I think by the end of August, you'll see a totally different Celtic team for the team that finishes this year. So, a wee bit disappointed, but again, that sort of hindsight's a great thing. At the time, you got it because we get beat 2-1.
Yeah.
But then when you see their result, you're like, well, we kind of get away with one there. You know, so it's the second half is encourageable, but I do think Bayern took a lot out of us. They were a top side the other night. It was a great game to watch. I thought we were immense. I really thought to a man we were immense. And it was hard work for us. And again, the glorious failure with a last second goal, you know what I mean? But yeah, overall, mate, a good second half, but we gave ourselves too much today with being 2-0 down. I know we came back for a 4, but we were really, really poor. There was a lot of players that didn't turn up in the first half, and then we made the changes in the second half. As Francis says, bringing on Jota made a big difference. And I think going forward to tomorrow and for the rest of the season now, that you spoke about earlier, I think that he's got to just play his best 11 now.
Yeah, obviously, Baz, as Bev touches on a couple of points here regarding playing your best 11 now. And them obviously dropping points, and it helps Celtic, continue the momentum of having 13 points clear of them. For me personally, mate, I think now I've got a feeling now that mistake happened at the weekend and we lost the game. I think that now will change the kind of mindset in our dressing room. It'll be a case of, right, we need to reset here, and we can't take teams too lightly now. We need to approach these games like cup finals as we go now towards the end of the season. I know there's no money left in the league, and obviously we're still in the Scottish Cup. But looking at the league table, I would imagine Celtic Baz will be wanting to try and finish as many points clear as they can over the rivals, especially now when you see the current circumstances that they've now been left in. They're practically managerless. They've got an interim team now. Their squad's totally deflated. They've been absolutely annihilated in terms of their fan base, giving them pelters, and all the booing that these players have taken from the beginning of the season to now. I mean, you're talking some of the games, Baz, they're walking down the tunnel at half-time, they're being booed off. So it's not even getting to the 90 minutes, but the booing is happening. So how do you see Celtic now kicking on? And as Bev says, do you believe now it's just a case of playing guys like Jota, Jeffrey Sloop, and getting the best team on the pitch that's possible going forward?
No, I think you'll see that. I think, obviously, with the Champions League being over now as well, you will see less juggling. I think if that was a normal game at Hibs away, in a midweek game against Bayern, then you would have seen the same starting 11 you seen in Munich. I think there was changes because you could see at the end of that game in Munich that there was people dead in their feet, which then falls into the Hibs game, and you have to probably freshen it up a wee bit. So it's all right saying it, looking at it now, but we said after the Munich game, we didn't really want to see it going to extra time because we looked as if we were out in our feet and we didn't have the subs to come on. So you can't then change the team. You can't criticise Brendan for changing the team on Saturday after a few days before you were saying we were dead on our feet. God, it never went to extra time. So I think the schedule now is a bit more forgiving. I think it's Saturdays and stuff like that. So I think you'll start to see the strongest 11 more than almost every week now to the end of the season, because we've got to have a good look at Jeffrey Sloop because he's only in here in loan. You need to play him for at least the next 10 or whatever it is games to have a right good look at him and see if you're going to bring him in permanent. I know we're saying right now he's been brilliant, but you can't just go off 2 or 3 games. You have to have a proper look at the boy and see if we're going to sign him. So I'd like to see him given to the end of the season now. If he's fit and no injured, he needs to play every game for me. And the same with the front three. If that's because realistically right now at this time, that's probably going to be your front three next season as well. So you need to get him a run of games and see how they go on. I think we'll start to see that now. I think that was just a wee bit of a change up because of how much they put in Munich. So, like I said, it's Saturday for after this game for most weeks to the end of the season. So there'll be no reason for changes unless it's bad performances.
Yeah, and Baz, just while you were chatting there, mate, a wee message came in for a good man, Mr. Scott Melville. He says, tell Baz Leeds have an equaliser against the Blunt Blades. So you were happy with that, mate?
One more all days, won't it? Another late one all days, even better.
Happy days. Alan, obviously, as Baz touches on there about the finding that consistency, picking the team, and then after these kind of games now, it's going to be Saturday to Saturday. We can see that helping Celtic, especially, we talk about the level of intensity Celtic get to, the way they can play, and obviously that rest between Saturday to Saturday, it's only going to bode well for the team, mate.
No, it should do. I think we're seeing what level there's first 11 that are kind of favoured first 11, what level of performances they can reach. It's no slight on the kind of players like Ida, like McCowan, like Greg Taylor, etc.
Yeah.
But the first 11 we're seeing, they're kind of reaching maybe a higher level, one that the kind of Celtic fans are more excited. We're seeing the performance they put up against Bayern Munich. We were extremely unlucky against one of kind of Europe's elite. So when you see that, it's going to be difficult for these other players to kind of match that level. I think there will be, obviously Brendan makes a lot of subs, kind of most games, 4 or 5 subs. So there will be rotation. These same guys will, your Yang, either Paulo Bernardo when he comes back, James Forrest when he comes back as well. They'll all play their part in the kind of winning the league and the Scottish Cup. But I think we're all in agreement here that first 11 that started against Bayern, I think that'll be the starting 11 for the majority of the games remaining left in the season.
Yeah. Bev, obviously tomorrow, mate, we've got Aberdeen at Celtic Park. Last time they came, we did draw. It was the night of our live event with Joe Muller. The day of that night, which turned out to be a great night for us. But how do you see tomorrow unfolding and Celtic, the way Celtic's setting up?
Yeah, I think we will go with strongest 11. As we've said there, I think you'll get new, and as you said earlier, JP, I think you'll give teams that wee bit more respect that we can't go out and take teams lightly. We've got to go out and do the job and then worry about it later. So I think you'll start strong, and then when the games maybe if it's gone the way that we all hope that you're 2-3 up, then he'll make the subsequent changes and bringing on like your Yangs and get this. I would like to see that boy Kenny getting a bit more game time. Try and see a bit more of him. He's only getting like wee fleeting 5 minutes here and there.
Mm-hmm.
He's not really getting enough time on the park for me. So I think that, as I say, it's going forward, play the strongest 11, get the job done, and then make your 5 substitutions for 60 minutes onwards, and give these guys a bit of game time. But yeah, I think you'll see a big reaction tomorrow for Celtic. I think we expect it after Saturday, So yeah, I think comfortable tomorrow. I know Aberdeen I think they've two in a row they've won now, so their tails will be up a wee bit and all. But I just think we'll be too strong for them tomorrow.
Yeah, I was looking at the lineup from the weekend, and it looks like they've kind of dropped Graham Shinnie. I don't know if he's injured or anything just now, but it looks as if the boy Nielsen's took the captain's band as well. Yeah. And they've kind of took Graham Shinnie out of the team, which I found quite interesting, Baz, because obviously for quite some time, Graham Shinnie's been the Aberdeen captain and a bit of a driving force for them in their midfield. So Timmy Taylor wasn't pulling any punches at all when he's put him on the bench and he's severely changed things up. But obviously he was given the backing to do that in January.
I've seen that myself. I've seen Shinnie's not been playing as recent, but he's been on the bench. So obviously with the results and stuff, he's changed the team around, which is always going to happen if you're not getting results. So
yeah,
no, I've seen they brought a lot of players in from abroad and stuff. Obviously he's dipped into the market of where he's been managing before and tried to bring a few of them here. So it'll take time, but like I've always said in this podcast, if we concentrate on ourselves, like Bev and Alan said, I think we'll put our strongest 11 out tomorrow to bounce back, and I can only see it going one way. We've seen what we've done to them at Amden in the semis, so if Celtic turn up, that's more than likely going to be the outcome. But you've got to respect them, obviously, as well. We've seen the other side this season of what they can do. Earlier on the season, I know they were probably lucky, but they got a good result that time. So you've got to respect them and go. We're out to to bounce back tomorrow. So I think it will be a convincing one, Celtic.
Yeah, I think most of us are of that mindset, Alan, in terms of the way Celtic are going to bounce back and win the game comfortably. As Baz touches on there, the game at Hampden, for me, that's what I think is mentally killed Aberdeen. I don't think Aberdeen have recovered where they took that doing. That's what kind of sent Aberdeen the other way. And then a run of bad results followed that night after that drubbing they took from us. And that was 6 going on about 16, the way Celtic played that night. And I don't think even Aberdeen took a lot of confidence going into that game, thinking we went to Celtic Park and we really ran them close. We drew 2 each. Duke scored a goal. It was chopped off with VAR, but we all know it was chopped off for a reason, because he was, he did something he wasn't supposed to in the box. But for the flip to happen, for Aberdeen to be going in there that confident, to then, to then getting battered, and then the bad run of results followed that, mate. How do you see them setting up tomorrow against us? Do you see them setting up with an attacking mindset, or do you see them being a bit more reserved?
I think it'll be a combination. I don't see them being as defensive as some of the teams that visit Celtic Park. I still think they'll play their own. They'll try and play their own game. I think we'll obviously stop them the majority of the time. But as Barry says, and the boys Bev as well, we need to be fully respectful of these kind of teams as well. We can't be complacent. They have been in a kind of bad vein of form over the last kind of number of months, but when you look at the kind of performance they put in the last time they were at Celtic Park, you know that's unlikely they're going to play about that again, but they're capable of that. They've shown that. So we need to get in with full respect for the opposition, but I think, as we've said and the boys have said previously, if we come into this game with our best possible side and we play to the best of our ability, then I don't think there's any team in Scottish football that can keep up with us. But the main thing is we concentrate on our own performance. I think Brendan and the coaches, they'll all know, they'll have a fair idea of how Aberdeen are going to set up, and they'll counteract that. So I can see, I think we should be looking for a good performance, considering the performance we had against Bayern last week. I think we will see that tomorrow. And I can see a kind of 3-0 victory, I think. But as long as it's a victory, I'm happy. But I think every Celtic fan's looking for that kind of, looking to see that good performance, and winning with a few goals is always nice as well.
Yeah, I think now we're at the time of the night where I'm going to ask for a team prediction from you lads. Bev, I'll start with yourself, mate. In terms of Celtic, how do you see Celtic setting up, and what's the team?
I would go with Schmeichel in goal, Schlupp and Johnson, Carter Vickers, Trusty, Engels, Hatate, McGregor, and I would go Jota, Kuhn and Maeda up top.
Okay, Baz?
I think it'll be right back Alistair Johnson, Schmeichel at goal, Carter Vickers, Trusty. Jess Schlupp will go left back, and I think it'll be the same midfield bar McCowan. I think Hatate will come in for McCowan, McGregor and Engels. And I think Jota will start and Daizen Maeda will drop out, and it'll be the front three of Jota, Maeda and Nicholas Kuhn. And I think scoreline, I'll go 4-1.
By the way, Aberdeen are the only club in the Scottish League to have scored against us in the league at Celtic Park. So that itself is a formidable record. So what I read that before we came on tonight. That's absolutely astonishing, mate, considering we're now hitting what I call the business end of the season, mate, starting to go for medals and trophies. So I say yourself, the team lineup, and obviously you've kind of said the prediction would be 3-0, but just quickly touching on that record, mate, I think that's quite impressive.
Surprising as well. I'm trying to think of a game a bit of carry. Aye, if you're right, you're right.
Well, Hibs scored against us, but that was the League Cup. So In the actual league, nobody's scored against us apart from Aberdeen.
Oh, that's impressive if that's true. Obviously, I believe that is true. I think it'll be the same team as Barry said, as the boys said. The same team that started against Bayern. It's Michael, Johnston, Carter Vickers, Trusty, Sloop, Kalmack, Engels, Hitati, Jota, Kuhn, and Maeda. I think that's by far our best starting 11 as we speak at present. As I say, I'd take any win, any decent performance, but I personally think it'll be 3-0.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think for me tomorrow the team kind of picks itself, in my opinion. I think that's Brendan's strongest lineup. We could see one or two changes. Brendan's got that ability to totally throw in like Liam Scales, or throw in somebody that we all think that Trusty's going to play, and he might play Liam Scales. But I don't think we'll be far wrong in terms of the lineup, lads. I really do. I'm actually going to go
streaking across the park. Liam Scales gets mentioned, and Ryan works half a place and running across.
He's the only guy I know that could streak the full length of Celtic pitch and still not get barred. He'll probably just be allowed to go and get changed back into his place again.
Because he's written a dental.
Jenky's like big priority. If he used to play with Wolves, and he takes off his start and he's covered in baby oil, and they can't get a hold of him, they can't grab him.
Chip fat oil, not with baby oil. He keeps that for his half-10 show.
That's been dry.
That's for his half-10 show, that stuff.
Aye,
he doesn't use
definitely.
that stuff.
I'm actually going to go a different scoreline. I'm going to say 5-0.
Jesus.
I think we'll leather them. I really do. I think Celtic will turn up tomorrow and they'll do what they've done to them at Hampden. I think. I'm going to go 5-0. Now that I've said that, we'll probably get beat 2-1 again. So that's.
What was the last 5-0 prediction? That was going to be Ryan with
Atalanta. He says that we would get gumped 5-0. Aye.
You'll never love that, didn't you?
I've just bit of good news. Leeds have scored. It's 2-1 now to Leeds. So yeah, Leeds have scored. I just got a ping through my phone. The boy Tanaka, should I say? Tanaka's just he's just scored for Leeds.
The wife shouting down there, yes.
Is that what that noise was there? Tremendous. But great. That's a great result. Fantastic. But I just want to thank yourself, Baz, for coming on tonight, mate, and having another chat with us, mate. It's been good.
No, I love it. Obviously, I love coming on and speaking about who I love the most, Celtic. You thought I was going to say you there, didn't you?
I did, mate. I'm absolutely gutted, mate. That's terrible pattern, man. That's bad.
Ryan will be raging.
I know he's raging.
No, I love speaking about Celtic, and obviously we're getting to the nitty-gritty of wrapping titles up again and hopefully winning the Scottish Cup. So hopefully I can get a few more appearances in before the end of the season. And like I said, it's always good to come on and chat to you. I really enjoy it.
No, we enjoy having you on, mate. It's always a pleasure having you on and hearing your insights to football, mate. It's brilliant. Alan, obviously it's been good to come back on and get a wee chat with yourself as well. I've kind of missed this the last 10 days, mate.
That's all right. I've kept it going. Don't worry about it. The dad is here, right? No, it's great to have you back, mate. Great to have obviously Barry's expertise, and Bev's all right and all.
Bev, obviously yourself, big man. Cheers for coming on and seeing out the night's show.
Yeah, thanks a lot, boys. Always a pleasure, as you know. Barry, all the best. Hope you get a wee couple of games before the end of the season, mate. We'll get a wee catch up soon. And just a wee thing for Francis, boys. Good to see you up and about, mate. I mean, for 87-year-old, you're doing well, mate. So
he's doing all right, isn't he?
Good to see you on the road to recovery, Francis, man. And hope the house moving hasn't been too strenuous on you, big man. It's good to see you back.
I don't want to be better of great news, but it's 3-1 to Leeds now. Leeds have just scored again, and it's the boy Piro that's just scored for Leeds.
I don't think you said that right there.
So he's retired.
It's Piro. Piroe. I hope I've said his name correctly. I think his first name begins with a J.
It's Joe Piro.
Aye, Joe Piro. So he's just made it 3-1 in the 90. I think they're in the 91st minute of the game now. So
Lovely.
aye, happy days. Just before we go, folks, you probably see it on your running bar. For the bonus ball that has been active for weeks now, we do have 11 balls left on the bonus ball. So filling up, not the way we kind of thought it would have, but we're getting there. And it's to win this fantastic jersey. Joe Miller, signed jersey from 1989. I'll show you the signature for Joe there, and he's even marked the year for you. We hail in there as well. There's the wee plaque there telling you who's it from. We picture of Joe with a cup, and there's the COA. There we go. The sponsor has it in his possession, so there you go. And it was kind of donated.
Yeah, it's a great piece. It's actually bigger than the last one, so it's a cracking piece. For anybody who wants to think it's a cracking thing. The photos don't do it justice. It's a cracking thing to get, man.
So anybody that wants to take part, as the running bar does say, it's £5 a ball, and that there is the PayPal that we're using for you to pay for your ball. So RyanClifford9@aol.co.uk. If you don't have PayPal, you need to contact us. You can do that via social media, either Facebook Messenger, Twitter Messenger, Instagram Messenger, or TikTok Messenger. Or you can even send us a wee message on the community section of our YouTube channel, and we'll get back to you. Myself and Ryan have got full access to that, and we will get back to you pretty much right away, because as soon as both our phones are kind of linked to it, and what happens is if somebody pings a message into that, it pings up on myself and Ryan's phone, so we'll see it almost right away for you, and we'll get back to you. So, yeah. So if anybody... There we go. G-Doc says he'll take the last 11. All you need to do, mate, is you need to ping your money over to PayPal if you're being serious, that is, because there is a lot of banter happens in this chat, and but Francis, we'll need to wait just now because G-Doc's mail message came in there before you, and he's saying that he's going to take the last 11. So I'll await Ryan's word. G-Doc, if you want to ping your money over, I'll put it up on the screen for you one more time, mate. If you want to take a wee quick note of that. And you can ping your money over. If you don't have PayPal, then you can message us and you can let us know, and we can get that sorted. But Ryan, you just keep me posted, mate, if you're still watching, if that money comes in, and then I can get that marked down. But lads, honestly, it's been a pleasure tonight. Cheers for coming on again and having a chat with us, and everybody else that's tuned in. If you're going to game tomorrow, hope you enjoy, and a massive hail. Take care.
Hail.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.